Oh, tomorrow, Egghead, now! Go ahead!
Okay, my paint rack. Yeah. Every time I look at my paint rack, it's 12 square feet of OCD goodness. And very recently, I got some new paints. I'm sure you're going to hear me talk about them a lot. But yeah, I had to rearrange my paint rack. And I decided to move some things around. And when I posted these pictures and shared my new paints and all excited, yay me, the paint rack got some attention. So I figured I'd throw together a really quick video. I didn't plan it out. It was a day thing. I ran to Home Depot, got some stuff, jumped in the garage, slapped it together, and there you go. So I'll jump on the computer real quick. I'll hop into 3D and show you some, a walkthrough of how I put it together. I can share some stills that I took on my phone. But real quick, put together a real simple quick tips video on my big obnoxious OCD wall of goodness. So enjoy.
All right, in my old office, I didn't have nearly as much room. So the first iteration of this paint rack was 2 feet tall, 3 feet wide, but it was essentially the same thing. When I moved into a new space, I realized I had a much bigger space to fill, and that old rack just wouldn't cut it. So, of course, I had to build the biggest rack possible and fill this entire wall, right? So I went to Home Depot and I found some project panels. This is just an example. These aren't the exact ones I bought. They have them in all different sizes and thicknesses. Just find what's going to work for you, for your size, for your budget. And some MDF strips. And I bought a bunch of these. These are the edges and the shelves. Mine were 2.5 inches wide, 3/4 of an inch thick, and I got them an 8-foot length so I could do the 6 foot and have plenty of scrap. So yeah, my cursory math, I made out like a bandit. We've been going to our Home Depot for a long time, so they let me combine discounts and coupons and all kinds of stuff. So my 13 strips at about $6 each, and my 3 project boards that were 24 by 36, it came to right around $100 minus my discounts and a coupon. I paid just around a little bit over 65. I think it was 67 and change, something like that. Let's jump into 3D and I want to show you the plan. Okay, so 24 by 36 project board. When we lay out 3 of them and then combine them, we've now got a 3 foot by 6 foot rectangle, 18 square feet of real estate here. So the next thing I'm going to do is start cutting down the edges, but cut down the top, the bottom, the left, the right. Double check your math a couple times. I'm horrible with math, so just take your time. And for ease of view, I'm going to make these green and blue so you can see what I'm talking about. When we bring these into the middle, you can see that I cut the top and bottom 3/4 of an inch short on each end to give the verticals the space they need for this to fit flush. So if you tilt it down, you can see a little more from the bottom where the sides overlap the top and bottom. So I glued and nailed the 4 corners, and I let it sit for a little while. While it was sitting, I pulled out the 3 panels. I did not want to move this, and the reason I had it laying down and didn't attach the panels is so that I could flip them on top and start gluing them and nailing them from this side and make this the back. Once these panels were glued and dried, we ended up with this. It's huge, man. It's bigger than our kitchen table. My wife walked in and she freaked. It was awesome. So it was still a little wobbly and I didn't want to move it too much, but I needed to figure out the shelving. And I did that by cutting up some scrap and using it as spacers. I just played around with it, measured some of my different bottles like Vallejo and P3, so on, figured out the spacing I needed, and then once I knew where I wanted each shelf, I started with the first shelf. I ran a bead of glue along the back of the strip, and then I nailed the left, I nailed the right, I put a nail in the center, and then I split the difference. And then I did that for each shelf going down, until I got to the bottom, where you can see that I changed it up a little bit. So yeah, hit it with a couple cans of white spray paint, dragged it upstairs. It was nice and solid once it was all glued and nailed together. And yeah, loaded it up, and it's gorgeous. I love it. My OCD is a blessing, not a curse.
Okay, so there you have it. I mean, it wasn't planned or I would have had better footage. It's what I've got. But that's how I put mine together. It was not really planned. It was just an afternoon trip to Home Depot. I grabbed some supplies, spent a couple hours banging around, hiding from the wife out in the garage. And when I came in, I had my obnoxious OCD wall of goodness here. So hopefully this helps you. Maybe you can change the dimensions, buy some different pieces. Just double check your math. I know I suck at math. That's why I got into art for a career. But double, triple, quadruple check your math if you have to, because that's where you're going to bamboozle yourself if you cut something wrong. So maybe buy a little bit of extra lumber if it's in the budget. But I can't stress it enough. Just check the math. Make sure you're cutting it right. And it's easy. You can put it together in a weekend. So hope that helps. Yeah, man, I'd love to see pictures. If anybody's got anything, let me know. So yeah, good luck, everybody. Hope that helps. See you later.